everyone. My name is Mike Murdoch. I'm the Artistic Director of Alchemy Theater. Thank you all so much for being here for our free Masterclass workshop with Vincent J. Cardinal. Vincent's a professor for the University of Michigan. He has been the Artistic Director of Connecticut Repertory Theater, as well as many, many other things. I have a much bigger bio I'll give before his keynote today after this class. But he has worked at Ohio University, University of Miami, UConn, Delphi, and now the University of Michigan, among many, many other places. He was my instructor for a long time at Ohio University when I was there. I'm very glad to be able to bring him in here to have him talk to everybody. And this is our workshop that is free because we get a generous grant from the West Virginia Humanities Council in order to do this. I'm very glad that so many people are here to take advantage of that. And now I will turn it over to the man himself. Please welcome Vince Cardinal.
Thank you. I'm so glad to be doing this with you, and you know we're small enough that we don't have to be too formal. So you know, sing out if you need to. How many of you brought something to work on tonight? 1, 2. Oh, great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let me count this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I made it. Okay. Let me lay a couple of ground rules, and then we'll just jump in because we only have 90 minutes, and I want people to have time. Here are the ground rules. You don't have to be good at this. The point of coming up here is for me to work with you a little bit to demonstrate some of the tools people might use to prepare monologues. So when you're up here, it's really not about you being good or bad. It's about us using tools together that the people sitting down in the safe spots can take in. I know that when you're up here, it feels like you just jumped out of a plane. And I don't really expect you to have to be good or on top of it. It's not a memorization quiz. If you need a paper with you, bring a paper with you. If you'd like somebody in the audience to hold the paper and you can call a line, that's good too. Don't let memorization derail you from the acting part of it. Memorization's hard, and it gets harder every year. But what is important to me is that we have something to work on. We'll run what you're doing once, and then I'll pick a chunk of it to work on. The tools that I'll be working with you with on this are mostly from Stella Adler. And Stella Adler was an actress. She was like the Shirley Temple of the Yiddish theater, which is important to me because I also acted as a child. And the way she took Stanislavski's work and translated it really made it simple. And for me, it's sort of like when I'm acting, I'm 8 years old. And I need it to be that clear and that simple. And I think Stella Adler handled that well, although there are a lot of approaches to acting that are amazing and interesting. But this is keeping it simple. Last ground rule, and then we'll jump in. I'm looking at this monologue as preparing for an audition instead of a performance. A monologue as it sits in a play is a different animal. When you go into audition for something, you want to show some kind of little journey, some different colors of you. And so I'll be talking about beginning, middle, and end. How is it different from the beginning to the end in ways that might not be appropriate to the show itself. So take what you will and let the rest go. And letting it go is an important thing. I think you do your homework, we have this master class, you do your things. When you walk into the audition, don't think about any of that homework. Just pursue the character's goal. The homework will be there. It's like a computer. You program it, then you run the program. But if you try to run the program and program it at the same time, nothing works. So this is very much the programming part, This is not the performance part. Who's up first?
I'll go.
What do you have for us?
I will be doing a scene from Love's Labor's Lost, Act 4, somewhere towards the end of that, Barone.
Great.
How about you then, affection's men-at-arms? Consider what you did first swear into. To fast, to study, and to see no woman. Flat treason against the kingly state of youth. Say, can you fast? Your stomachs are too young, and abstinence engenders maladies. And where that you have vowed to study, lords, in that each of you have forsworn his book. Can you still dream and pore and thereon look? For when would you, my lord, or you, have found the ground of study's excellence without the beauty of a woman's face? From women's eyes, this doctrine I derive. They are the ground, the books, the academies, from whence doth spring the true Promethean fire. Then fools you were these women to forswear, or keeping what is sworn you will prove fools. For wisdom's sake, a word that all men love, or for love's sake, a word that loves all men, or for men's sake, the authors of these women, or women's sake, by whom we men are men. Let us once leave our oaths to find ourselves, or else we lose ourselves to keep our oaths.
Good. Good. Great stuff there. The specificity of all the people being talked to really helps us follow along, that you're trying to recruit them to do something. Even if you don't know the details of it, you've got the sense that this guy is talking to a group of people. So it's great specificity. A really nice sense of naturalism. In the Victorian era, when people did Shakespeare, they sort of posed and sort of sang the music. And that kind of lasted until like the 40s and 50s. This was very natural. Sounded like a real person talking in a real circumstance. Super great. As an exercise, will you now cast who you're talking to with the people in this room?
Sure.
And do you have your text with you by any chance?
I do.
One thing I want to work on, and you're doing this beautifully, so I'm working on it
sure.
as demonstration.
Yeah.
Your thought and your sentence are always the same size. Here's what I mean. When you see a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark, that's the end of a thought. If you say, let's go get ice cream after this, you probably won't breathe in the middle of that sentence. Unless you're being an actor and then you say, let's go get ice cream after this, which is not what humans do. So we're trying to err towards sounding human. Now, a 5-year-old might take the breath because their lungs are so little they have to breathe. But you always have enough air for a single thought. And man, Barone is so damn smart. Will you just do this all on one breath? No, don't take any of those breaths. Just end right there on the one breath.
Okay. How about you then, affection's men-at-arms? Consider what you did first swear into, to fast, to study, and to see no woman. Flat treason against the kingly state of youth. Say, can you fast? Your stomachs are too young, and abstinence engenders maladies.
How'd that feel?
Yeah.
Tight, right? Shakespeare does this great thing to us, which is when he wants us to intensify emotions, he makes you reach for the breath in the same way you're reaching for the emotion. So this tells me that whoever he's talking to isn't buying it, because he's having to reach for the energy to be like, yes, we have to do this,
Sure.
instead of it being sort of a throwaway, which is the naturalistic sound.
Okay.
So can you do it again? Who are you talking to?
These three fellows right here.
For that first line, pick one. Let's do one person per each thought.
Okay.
Which one are you going to pick?
I'm going to start with him.
Okay, so first sentence is him. What are you trying to make him do?
Pay attention.
What does the line ask him to do?
Have at you then, affection's men-at-arms. He's telling the buck up.
Yeah, can you, what is it, why, what,
Concern.
he needs all of this language
Yeah.
to get him to do something.
Okay.
What is, like, I mean, up to the period, where's that period go?
The period we took was there.
Okay, is that a period or?
That's a period there.
Oh, well, then you can do that one.
Okay.
Okay, so what is that act, what is your goal there?
Just tell them how ridiculous we are acting as 4 young men.
Yeah, what will he do then do physically on stage if you're successful with that first sentence?
Hopefully perk up and start paying attention to what I'm talking about.
Yeah, so first thing you do is pay attention. So let's say that he's walking away and you get him to turn around. That's maybe,
Okay, that's great.
okay, now I'm going to ask one more question, and this is going to be counterintuitive to what you think. Not how you feel about it, but how are you trying to make him feel?
I know that I've got better stuff coming,
Uh-huh.
and I need him to buy in as quickly as possible.
Okay.
So I need him to feel like I'm the expert on this situation.
Great. And here's where we get to be 8-year-olds. What's the one emotion you're trying to make him feel? Take everything you just said, turn it into one word. I want him to feel.
My natural inclination is to say stupid.
Yeah, and why are you pulling away from it? Because I think your instinct to pull away is good.
Because I have a tendency to do that to people in real life. People know me in the room.
Well, and your instinct is great. Stella Adler used to say, pick a menschier action. Menschy is a Yiddish word that means good. But what she was talking about was larger of spirit. Something that, I mean, you could go with ridiculous because that's larger of spirit.
Okay.
Or you could go to make him feel commanded.
Okay.
But get it down to one word because we cannot act paragraphs. It's too much thinking. So keep it super simple. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go ridiculous? Do you want to go commanded?
I'm going to go commanded.
Okay. Can you land commanded?
Yep. How about you then, affections, men-at-arms? Consider what you did first swear unto, to fast, to study, and to see no woman.
Okay, hold on. Do it only for the first sentence. Commanded.
Okay. How about you then, affections, men-at-arms? That's the first sentence, and then he jumps into the 3 lines.
Ah, great. So, does it work? The answer always is yes, which is really complicated. Because if I'm murdering you and I make you feel loved, it's far more interesting for the audience, but man, you have to deal with that. So, you made it feel ridiculous, it worked. Now, you're going to be the actor in the scene. Okay. What do you, in a silent action, make him feel? Because here's what happens with these long monologues. It's like a bulldozer. And you know, once the bulldozer goes, we are not wondering if the thing that is running over is going to get squashed or not. And we want the tension of possibility. So, you make him feel ridiculous to make him have attention. Then he makes you feel, what's your silent action?
What's the next sentence?
Consider what you first did swear unto.
Doubt.
Is that a period again?
That's comma here. Consider what you did first swear unto, to fast, to study, and to see no woman, semicolon, flat truth against the king.
Okay. So remember what you promised you were going to do when you were not here, and these girls hadn't shown up yet.
Young and foolish 3 acts ago.
Right. The guilt.
You're going to make him feel guilty, or you feel guilty.
Well, I guess myself.
Yes, so you're going to make him feel.
So my guilt would inform his.
To make him feel.
Successful. And
Great, successful is good. Attended to, understood, honored.
Sure. So his first sentence, his first gambit work.
Yeah, and can we make it a line? Can you say, yeah, you're right, so that you have something to respond to next? Can we go to the top?
Yeah. How about you then, affections, men-at-arms?
Line?
My lord.
Consider what you did first swear unto, to fast, to study, and to see no woman. Flat treason against the kingly state of youth.
What was that action to make him feel what?
That action was let him know I'm on his side. Make him feel that I understand what he's
Is that? And we
Empathy,
will lose
empathetic.
empathetic. Are there any other words you're thinking?
Validated.
Validated. What is it like? I'm thinking like bro. Like
Yeah,
we're
well, it's like
bros.
your dad yells at you and then immediately comes to console you and
Yeah.
say, it's okay.
You want to just do love?
Yes.
Here's the thing. Always. What was that? Here's the thing. At the end, the vocabulary doesn't matter that much. It's either loved or hated. I mean, that's where we are. But like loved.
Yeah, is that sense reminding me of the oaths that I have
Yeah.
completely screwed up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
We all have.
Yes, you have. Okay, you're doing great. You're doing great. Let's just do it again and make sure this exchange is happening. And then, are these all? Yeah, these are all the him.
Yeah.
And then when do you change people?
There's three, so there's the three guys.
Yeah.
So the only one that's real specific is he actually looks right at the king and says, when would you, my lord? Great, that, I mean.
So do this
Okay.
to here.
Okay.
Make sure this exchange happens. Then pick somebody else and see if you can apply this idea that you have to wait for feedback before you keep going.
Gotcha.
That will keep your monologues from feeling like a lecture and feel like something might happen because there's an exchange of energy happening. Make sense? Okay. Thank you for being the guinea pig on this.
That's great. Thank you. Have at you then, affections, men at arms. Lord, consider what you did first swear unto, to fast, to study, and to see no woman. Flat treason against the kingly youth. Say, can you fast? Your stomachs are too young, and abstinence engenders maladies. And whether you have vowed to study, lords, in that each of you have forsworn his book, can you still dream and pore and thereon look?
Great. Huge difference. Part of what's happening here is just human nature, which is, let's pretend you're a junior high classroom. And I'm going to yell at you, okay? Don't get scared. So if I'm the teacher and I say, everybody sit up straight, put your feet on the ground, be quiet and pay attention. You sort of shift a little, but you know, it's not you. But if I say, sit up straight, put your feet on the ground, I don't want to see that paper on your lap. I am tired of this tension. Thank you. This tension makes everybody look and pay attention because something might happen here. Similarly, and I'm not saying you have to do this to the audience, you can do it to the other actors on stage, or in a monologue, which you did beautifully the first time out, which is you picked the people. You were just a little like a lawn sprinkler the first time, and then your energy was going all over the place. But now, getting really specific and imagining the feedback loop will help raise the tension of it. Beautiful, you got a great voice, you did the work right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Actually, a question about that. I've heard different things about making direct eye contact with your, like, you know, in an audition setting, you're going to have your three people,
Yeah.
or one person sitting at a table. Like, they don't typically they like to pick a spot.
Yeah,
on the wall.
don't look at me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why. I'm taking notes on you, and if you start looking at me, like I'm an empathetic actor.
Right.
So I just start acting with you. You walk out the room, I look down at my paper, I'm like, oh no, I didn't write anything.
Right.
So in an audition situation, make your people, but keep them specific, but tend to be above the auditors so that they can do what they need to do. Thank you for that question. Who's up next? Please. And then we'll go.
Excited.
Tell me your name.
My name is Greg.
Greg, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for being here.
Oh, my
I'm excited
pleasure.
to see what I'm going to learn here. So I know the speech a little, but I don't have it memorized. I just put it up off the internet.
Great.
This is Adam from As You Like It.
Sure.
He's an old guy,
Uh-huh.
which I have to get used to those parts. Not a spring chicken anymore. And what's happened here, if I understand right, Orlando has been out to seek his fortune. He's wrestled the bonny prize of the Duke. He won. He's come home. His evil brother, Oliver, is at home and knows Orlando's coming and has plotted his demise. And as Orlando comes in, Adam, the old servant, meets him at the door. So I've seen this several times on stage, but I've never really liked Adam. So I'm going to give it a shot.
Okay.
Let's see if I can use it. So, so here comes Orlando enter. What? My young master. Oh, my gentle master. Oh, you memory of old Sir Roland. Why, what make you here? Why are you virtuous? Why do people love you? And wherefore are you gentle, strong, and valiant? And why would you be so fond to overcome the body prizer of the virtuous Duke? Your praise has come too swiftly home before you. Know you not, master, that to some kind of men their graces serve them but as enemies? No more to yours. Your virtues, gentle master, are sanctified and holy traitors to you. Oh, what a world is this when what is comely envenoms him that bears it? Oh, unhappy you. Come not within these doors. Within this roof, the enemy of all your virtues lives. Your brother, no brother. I will not call him brother. Of him I was about to call his father. He hath heard your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging wherein you used to lie, and you within it. If he fail of that, he will have other means to cut you off. I overheard him in his practices. This is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it. Fear it. Do not enter it.
Good, good. Such a good play. Nice work. Thank you for that. A couple things. First of all, I love that you didn't act old. And here's something that happens. In fact, I was head of playwriting at Ohio University when Michael Murdoch was there. And I had a student write in a play, enter the father, an elderly man of 50. But there is a perception that we have to put on something, and those of us who are 50 or well beyond can tell you that other than the body, you're still pretty much 20. You know, your brain is still there. So letting yourself be what you did, which is just you, is a way to handle the age thing. And I think with Adam, it is particularly tricky because Orlando ends up taking him when they escape, but Orlando has to leave him behind because taking care of him is going to get Orlando killed. So there's this beautiful moment where he decides to part ways. In this moment, do you know that when Orlando, and I'm really asking, this is not a quiz, do you know when Orlando shows up that you've got to tell him to leave home?
No.
To get the hell out of here?
Not instantly.
Uh-huh.
I think there's that greeting first.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I think so, pretty early on.
So what is our moment before here? What just happened? Moment before is, I mean, most of you know this, but the idea is what happens before what we see starts, and it tends to be broken down into 3 steps. One is what happened in the last 15, 20 minutes. Then what happens just before you enter? And I always think this is a great one to be physical. You stub your toe, you run to the bathroom, and now you're running back in. You're late. like that little piece. I have a friend who's a Broadway actor who really, that leap into the scene is too much for him. So when he's auditioning, he drops a handful of change on the floor and then starts his audition picking it up to have something physical to do to get into the scene.
Yeah.
So, where was poor Adam?
Yeah, technically I don't know. In my mind, I'm sure he was doing some duty, and whatever choice I made in my head before I started this was the wrong choice.
Not at all.
No, because I didn't bring any stakes in.
Okay.
I didn't have him really. He could have just overheard the Duke just now.
I think that's
Which would have
great.
been a stake.
Immediacy is awesome.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't fit the play. For the monologue, the immediacy is what you need. So let's say that's happening. You were preparing Orlando's space for him to come back and kind of excited that he won the match. And then you overhear that he's going to be kicked out. So you do know in our new case.
Right.
And then you hear the horses coming up, and now you got to come out and greet him. So this first part seems to be, for me, the conflict between what he wants Orlando to feel and what he's feeling. Think of it this way, and these are extreme examples, but if I have a child that I'm holding and I'm trying to escape a burning building, I am feeling fear and urgency, but I'm trying to make the kid feel safe. So there's a conflict between what I feel and what I'm trying to make the child feel.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what's happening with Orlando in the first beat.
Yes, I think you're right, because I had trouble when I was looking this over. I was seeing it as a greeting instead of I could have looked out the window first.
Yeah.
It never occurred to me that I saw him coming. So that when I came out, even though the lines sound like a greeting, it's what, my young master, and there's some urgency to it.
We've
which
got
I didn't
stuff to
have
do.
before.
That's great.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
great.
You're right.
All of this is just pretend. I mean,
Right.
like you can't do anything wrong because I'm just building a new pretend
Yeah.
case for what we are doing. So what you did was right for what you did. This is right for what this
This
new
feels
case.
good.
So let's start there and see where it takes you.
Okay. Oh, shit. What, my young master, my gentle master, oh, my sweet master, oh, you memory of old Sir Roland, what make you here? Why are you virtuous? Why do
Yeah,
people
and
love
this
you?
is new, right?
It's
So that was the
new, so-
first beat.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, it feels to me like, you know, in a cartoon when they hug and kiss them all over the face, and it's like, oh, here you, I was so worried about you. Then Orlando was like, is there any food on? And then you have to change the tone to, oh my, how are you so good? And how am I gonna tell you? So we've just shifted to, I've got to prepare you for this, and they can know something's coming that's going to be hard, and use the next beat, think of it as your prep beat.
Yeah.
Can you just try that beat? Just the new one, the how can you be so virtuous? You're looking at him in awe of what a good guy he is, and making him feel just simply with our love-hated action. Action in Stella Adler word means how you make the person feel. Just make him feel
I
loved.
know what you're asking. That doesn't mean I can do it.
You're perfect, don't you worry.
Okay. What? My young master, oh my gentle master. Oh my sweet master, oh you memory of old Sir Roland, what make you here? Why are you virtuous? Why do people love you? Wherefore are you gentle, strong, and valiant? Wherefore would you be so, and wherefore are you gentle, strong, and valiant, and why would you be so fond to overcome the body prize with a virtuous duke?
Great.
I
You did this, yes.
Probably because it's the matter at hand.
Yes.
At that point,
Like,
right?
why did you, you're so good, you
Yeah.
fell into the trap.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, two more just
Yes.
tools to use.
Okay.
Orlando's hungry. So wherever he's coming from, if I'm Orlando, There's the hello, he loves you, so he's like, hi, everything's good. Hey, I gotta go, and now you have to stop me from going in here. And so you've gotta, like, dude, I gotta tell you this, I've gotta take care of you. Always there's action, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say action. There is always power in either you on your way somewhere or the person you're talking to on the way somewhere. Because it's how we really interact in our daily lives. Like you're on your way to stir the pot of soup and somebody stops you on the way, you have urgency about getting there, but you stop to talk, but half your energy is going. So if you imagine in our pretend world that works.
And it looks an audition as well.
Absolutely. So you see him coming, you can even have him come around here.
Which is a little different, because Steve sort of started that way the last time, right? He was singing out there.
Yeah.
But in a monologue like this, would you still take it out
You
in the
can
same
do,
sort of
you
way?
could keep them right here. It really doesn't matter. Here's the deal. This is your house. The directors and the people auditioning you are visiting. So, you behave how you want in your house. If you would like to use a chair, you do not need to ask me if you can use a chair. It's your house, use a chair. And if you want to have Orlando come in from there and walk over there, you can. If you want to have Orlando up there, you can. It's all yours. When what you decide is how you express yourself. I think we always feel a little bit like, what are the rules and how do I follow them? I give you permission, the rules are yours. How do you behave in your own house? You are just welcoming and do what you need to do to accomplish your life. That's it. Here's another thing you're doing that I love. We all worry that we're not good enough to do this, or that we're too Southern, or we're too urban, or we're too old, or we're too young, or we're too masculine, or we're too effeminate, or we're too tall, or we're too short. Every two that you are worried about is your superpower. It's the thing that makes you uniquely you. So I feel like you choosing Adam, great choice. You are not a doddering old man. The fact that you're bringing yourself to it as you are is a really strong choice. Because now I believe you could go on that trip with Orlando. And when you get halfway there and you can't do it, it's a surprise to you and it's a surprise to us. So bringing you to it is exactly the right thing to do. Well done.
Thank you.
I'm sorry I'm making these so short, but I want to get to everybody.
All right. You want a copy?
Sure. Oh, thank you.
This is Suzanne Sugarbaker from Designing Women, played by
Great.
Delta Burke. The scene is she has just come to her high school reunion. Ooh, I This is quite a surprise. I know. It's just human nature. People love to see you get old or fat. All my life I've had to fight my weight. And I admit, yeah, food's been a security blanket. But I'm one of those people that just gains weight more easily than others. Some people, like you have always had that skinny waist and those tiny little ankles. But I can't be that. All my life, people have tried to make me be that. Point is, it's different for women, especially beautiful women. Look at Elizabeth Taylor. Okay? She did National Velvet. And if she never did anything in her life beyond that, that was an accomplishment. But then, she got fat. And it's like she no longer has the right to live in this country. That's how I feel right now. Drugs, alcohol, cancer, whatever your problems, people are sympathetic. Unless you're fat. Then you're supposed to feel ashamed. I mean, everything is set up to tell you that. The media, social media, magazine covers, clothes in the mall. If you're not thin, you're not in. And that's it. And if looks are all you've ever had, well, I guess I do deserve this award for the person most changed. but not for the reason you think. Last night, I got my feelings hurt because I came to this reunion thinking I was beautiful. And what I found out was that I'm fat. At least that's what you all think. But that's not the biggest change in me. The old Suzanne wouldn't have shown up here tonight. She would have gone home, gotten thin before the next reunion, and then come back to get even. But I'm a little older, and I hope I'm a little wiser than I used to be. A lot of things have happened to me. Yes, a lot of things have happened to all of us. Sandy's mother's killed the night before graduation. Diane Mitchell's got 2 sets of twins. Joanna Chadwick works at the White House. We had a lot of dreams together. And there's no point in denying it. Yes, some of mine came true, but some didn't. I met a little boy from Africa tonight, whose whole family died of starvation. And I realized that I had spent the whole day worrying that I had too much food in the fridge and it would spoil before I got to it. I'm not sure the old Suzanne would have appreciated the absurdity of that, but this one does. Okay, men, I know, some of you wanted to know about my new bra size. That's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about my heart, because it's a little bigger than it used to be, too. The old Suzanne wouldn't have forgiven you for the things you said, but this one will. Because when I look out at you, I don't see receding hairlines and crow's feet and pot bellies. I just see the faces of all my beautiful friends. Those sweet young boys who tried to kiss me goodnight on the porch. You can remember me any way you like. But that's how I'm going to remember you. So, thank you for giving me this award for the person most changed, however you meant it. I'm going to treasure it. Because I love trophies, and because I've earned it.
Good. Good work. So, given circumstance, you're accepting an award for most changed at high school class reunion. Yeah. Speeches are hard in auditions. This is so beautifully written, though. So this is one of those where it's like, a speech is difficult audition material. If it's beautifully written, you overcome the difficult part because it's so well written. Just wanted to say that out loud. One of the things I really like, several things I like that you did. You're very different at the beginning than you are at the end. So we have a journey. That's very important. At the most crass level, like audition level, it's like, I can do this and I can do this. I just give you more to choose from. At the journey level, we have a dramatic event in which a character travels and you show us in 4 minutes what you can do over 2 hours. So that's just lovely. Did you all feel when she noted the person with the twins and the various specifics, how much engagement that made? I would suggest that there's room for this and to pick out, and just pick areas of the audience. Like, these are the 4 women who you overheard talking about your weight. And this is the person over here who thought it would be funny to give you the trophy. Okay. And do a little scoping of yourself for specificity, so that when you're talking, instead of it being a report, it's an action. That makes sense. And then one more thing to address, and then we're going to start from the beginning and see if we can find some of those areas. When we are nervous, we get a lot of tension. And habitually we sigh because it releases tension. It works counter to what we're trying to do, however, because we want to build tension in theater. And so even as the actor is going to get rid of the tension, we sabotage ourselves by losing the tension on stage. And you're finding in your best moments, you are releasing the tension with size. So I would just, when you're practicing, just
Sure.
kind of start clocking. Take it as a good note because you've built the tension. So when you're sighing, you're like, pay attention now because you're sighing. And don't sigh and let the tension build.
Okay.
Often when we mess up, it's just a note to ourselves that we've done something fabulous. When you forget your line, it's just because the synapses are doing something different and you discovered something. That's not like, bad me, I forgot my line. That's, oh, I'm good, I'm finding new stuff. And similarly with the size, it tends to mean you're really building toward something. So let's start at the beginning. If you were to characterize her at the very beginning versus the very end, what are some differences in this journey?
At the beginning, she's hurt
Uh-huh.
because, she thought she was beautiful. Now she finds out all
Sure.
her friends think she's fat. By the end, she has come to realize that she is who she is,
Uh-huh.
and to hell with the rest of you. I deserve this. I have changed. I'm not just the same old superficial supermodel I used to be.
Can we even build on that? I love all of that. Because I love the authenticity of the end, the centeredness of the piece of the end. In terms of an audition, is it, and you can say no to this is not a director giving you the note, this is a real question. Is there juice in being a Southern lady and you're hurt and so really hide it with your graciousness and your Southernness? So that the beginning feels not like we're going to go to an honest place.
Okay.
Just see what happens if you put that spin on it. Who are you going to be talking to?
Talking to my former classmates. at
And
the reunion,
in
yeah,
the room where
specifically.
who gets, well, this is quite a surprise. Who is the person who gets that? Okay. And then it's just human nature. There's another period. Yeah, and I think that's
Okay.
almost like in the Southern way, like, well, bless your heart,
Bless
it's
your
just
heart,
it's just
okay.
human nature.
Sure.
And then who gets people love to see, this is a great sentence. People love to see beautiful women get old or fat. Who is that?
Mike.
And yeah, Mike, not really Mike, my classmate Mike,
Right.
who.
Exactly.
Why do you point him out as the person who loves it?
Because he's an ex-boyfriend, and he used to love it when I was skinny.
Yeah.
But he always said things if I ate a French fry.
Oh, I love that. So in the Southern Belle way, you're making him feel what? Like understood, appreciated.
Like a worm.
I think that's the intention, but the action you're landing is a very positive one.
Okay.
Try this and see where you drop the Southern guy. May the force be with you.
Well, this is quite a surprise.
Keep it nice.
It's just human nature. People love to see beautiful women get old or fat.
Who's this for? Pick them and be specific.
All my life, I have had to fight my weight. And I admit food has been a security blanket.
Great.
But also, I'm just one of those people that gains weight more easily than others.
Hold on, you just switched people in the
did
middle of
switch people.
thought. So,
So don't do that.
no.
Okay.
When we have a single thought, we tend not to actually switch in the middle of it.
Okay.
So really a period, an exclamation point, or a question mark is your switch. It would be like if I said, we had a really nice dinner yesterday. It doesn't actually make sense. And it's hard for the audience to follow. So who's that one for?
I know when after the ... spots woman in the audience with the tiny
and
waist.
you can do that.
That was
Yeah, and I bought that.
specifically, yeah.
And then, but I can't be that. People have always tried to make me be that. Who tried to make you be that? Is it back to Mike?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And then the point is, it's different for women, especially beautiful women. Who's that to? Pick a woman who understands.
Pink.
Three.
Sorry, I don't
That's-
have, glasses can only see up close. I
Oh, you're fine, you
It's a
guys.
blur.
Back up there. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
and that can be an ally. Start at the beginning. The other thing you're doing, I love, is as you're incorporating these notes, you're slowing it way down, and you're just doing the talking. Super strong choice.
Oh, this is quite a surprise. It's just human nature, I guess. People love to see beautiful women get old or fat. All my life, I've had to fight my weight. And I guess, yeah, food has been a kind of a security blanket. But you know, I'm just one of those people that gains weight more easily than others. Some people, like you have always had that tiny waist and those trim little ankles. But I can't be that. And people have always tried to make me be that. The point is, it's different for women, especially beautiful women. Look at Elizabeth Taylor.
Great. Great! Huge difference. Does it feel different? Yeah, it activates it. And then let's say, you know, you do this and you go home and you set up chairs and you do, you do the whole thing. Once you get into an audition situation, you can leave all that behind and just do the event in your imagination that's happening, and it will be specific. Now, let's say you prepare this for a show, let's say, and the director gives you totally different ideas of what to do. Because you made specific choices in the first place, you can make specific changes. But if you never make the first specific choices, it's always a free fall. So it's beautiful. This is great for you. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. Who's up next? Please.
I don't have a copy of it, it's on my phone.
That's all right. Do your thing.
You probably know it, sir. I'm Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Johnson.
Thank you.
I'm going to be doing a monologue from Streetcar Named Desire,
Great.
which is monologue. And I have to say, I don't know, I haven't seen the play and I haven't read the whole play. So I'm really kind of working off of just the monologue and a little bit
Great.
of research.
And in these situations, what you might get, let's say they're shooting a movie in the region and you don't get to read the whole movie script, but you get a side, just make specific choices. Strong and wrong is better than no choice at all. So just make the choice. They will give you feedback, but they have seen that you can make choices. That's really what we're after. And you can call line. I have it right here.
I loved someone too. And the person I loved, I lost. He was a boy. Just a boy when I was a very young girl. When I was 16, I made the discovery. Love, all at once and much, much too completely. It was as if suddenly shining a blinding light on something that had always been half in shadows. That's how it struck the world for me. But I was unlucky, deluded. There was something different about the boy, a nervousness, a softness and a tenderness which was not like that of a man's, yet it wasn't the least bit effeminate looking. Still, that thing was there. He'd come to me for help. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything until after the marriage when we ran off and come back, and all I'd known was that I failed him in this mysterious way and wasn't able to give him the help he needed, but couldn't speak of. He was in the quicksands and clutching at me, and I couldn't hold him out. I was slipping in with him. I didn't know that. I didn't know anything except that I loved him unendurably. I wasn't able to help him or help myself. And then I found out. In the worst of possible ways, by walking into a room which I thought was empty, but was not empty, but contained two people. The boy I had loved and an older man who had been his friend for years. Afterwards, we pretended that there'd been no discovery. Yes, the three of us drove off to Moon Lake Casino, very drunk and laughing all the way. We danced the Vesuviana. And suddenly, while dancing with the boy I had married, he broke away and ran out of the casino. Moments later, a shot. I ran out, we all did, we all ran and crowded around the terrible thing at the edge of the lake. I couldn't get near for the crowding. Someone grabbed my arm. Don't go any closer, come back, you don't want to see. See? See what? And then I heard the voices say, Alan. Alan. Gray boy. He'd taken the revolver and put it in his mouth and fired so that the back of his head had been blown away. It was because while on the dance floor, unable to help myself, suddenly I'd said, I saw. I know. You disgust me. And then the searchlight which had been turned on my world was turned off. Not for one moment since has there been any light stronger than this kitchen candle.
Tennessee Williams. Good. Talk to me. Do you have a sense of who you've chosen that you're talking to?
I thought it was more of just a alone monologue, but so I do not know.
I think it's always stronger to choose somebody to talk to have the communication happen. It actually takes a lot of weight off of you, because you've done a beautiful job. I call it emotional landscape, like drawing in your head where everything's happening. That's beautifully wrought. Now, if you add to that a need to express it, there's a rule of thumb, which is the size of your need is the size of your speech. Blanche has a big need. So why is she talking so much? What is that need? And I think it's about picking for you who you're talking to, and maybe she thinks she's doing one thing, but she's really doing another. Let me give you this and do with it what you will. If there is a girlfriend or a friend or a family member who you are trying to console and make feel better by sharing this, but she's such a narcissist, that the story turns. And instead of thinking of these, this is great with Williams to know, she doesn't know where the story's going. This is like unpacking a box instead of giving a report. So each time she tells something, she's like, oh, this happened, and oh, look, this happened to me too. So it's all a surprise instead of she knew it when she started talking. So can you imagine yourself a situation, and I know you're just making it up, but Stella's questions start with who are you, where are you, and what do you want? There are 7 questions. So let's start there. Who are you? And you have a sense of that for you, and you can enter this any way you want. You could say, oh, this is me when I was in college and really full of my own drama, and I know exactly who this is. Or you could say, This is like this character I saw in a movie, and I'm going to do an impersonation of them until I find her. Or you could say, well, the playwright says X, Y, and Z, and I'm just going to do that. She's a little drunk or stoned. She's trying to hold herself together, and she's in this hugely problematic situation. So you can hit your "Who are you?" entrance any way you want. I think it's easier just to be you. But, so what do you want to do? Where do you want to go with this?
Okay, I guess I'll think of a time when I felt betrayed.
Great. And I don't need to know any details, and any acting teacher who does is just lonely. So you've got your moment. Now this is not substitution. This is not using the like, my father died and now every time I do a scene in which this character dies who's my father, I'm going to relive this trauma. This is just empathy. Oh, I get this. I understand what this character's feeling because empathetically I've been there. Now I can act like this is happening versus I'm going to now mine my trauma. That just makes you warm. So you got kind of a sense of who you are.
Okay.
Can we just paint a wash of that on top of that of she's just really dramatic? It's that lovely person you were times 5. Okay, so that's who you are. Where are you? You can make up anything. Got a sense of it? And I always think it's easier, like, just to pick something you know. Like, it's your dorm room, or your living room, or instead of becoming an architect and a scene designer, just like imagine where you are. You got somewhere where you are. Who are you talking to? Do you have somebody who you're talking to? Can we talk about it?
Yeah, I just thought my therapist.
Well, that's not bad. Here's the problem with therapists is you're paying them not to do anything. So it's always an uphill battle. But a friend who is therapeutic-like
Okay.
or therapist-like, and what do you want them to do? Let me give you something.
Okay.
They've come to you to be their therapist.
And I took care of her.
Yeah, and so they've come to you and said, oh my gosh, my boyfriend left me and I feel terrible and now I'm not going to have anywhere to live. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And your goal is to take care of her. And just see where your goal turns into making her take care of you. We won't do the whole thing because it's like 4 minutes, but let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Do you need to sit or anything? Are you cool?
I don't know.
And where is she? Great. And what were you doing just before this started?
Listening to her.
And what time of day is it? Like, is this a like, I'm making coffee for breakfast kind of moment, or is this, she came into your room as you were getting ready to go to bed moment?
We're sitting on the couch, kind of talking together.
What time of day?
Evening.
Uh-huh. And what were you doing before this started? Watching TVs, scanning the internet, crocheting, like what's going on?
Okay. I am watching TV.
Sure.
She comes in and tells me about her experience
Right.
and what's going on.
Keep watch. Let's put the TV here.
Okay.
What show is it?
I'm in House of Dragon.
Okay, great. And she's telling you, but your focus is split. And then she says something that rings with you, and now you have to take care of it. So give yourself your moment before.
I loved someone too. And the person I loved, I lost. He was just a boy when I was a very young girl.
When I was 16, I made the discovery. Love. All at once and much too completely. It was as if suddenly shining a blinding light on something that had always been half in shadows. That's how it struck the world for me. But I was unlucky. Deluded.
Great, great, great. I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing.
Yeah.
How does it feel any different?
Yeah, it definitely feels better, because that's something that I've struggled with. I've not known. I've always known when I reacted to things that happened in my head, but I've not known who I was talking
And those things can still happen, but now you're going to use them as the illustration for her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You want to jump to a spot when you do that? Like you're on the dance floor, maybe?
Okay.
And just see what if you can take what you're imagining going on around you and make sure you're great actors. You need a partner like this always, giving you so much. So yeah, just see if now you can use some of that to keep communicating here.
We danced the Vesuviana. And then suddenly, while dancing with the boy I had married, he broke away and ran out of the casino. Moments later, a shot. I ran out. We all did. We all ran and crowded around the terrible thing at the edge of the lake. I couldn't get near for the crowding. Suddenly someone grabbed my arm. Don't go any closer. Come back. You don't want to see. See what? Then I heard the voices. Alan, the gray boy. He'd taken a revolver and put it in his mouth and fired. So that the back of his head had been blown away, and it was because of the dance floor. Suddenly unable to help myself, I said, I saw, I know. You disgust me. And then the searchlight, which had been turned on my world, was turned off again. Not for one moment since has there been any light stronger than this kitchen candle.
Good. Yeah, lovely. A couple things you did I just want to point out that I love. That was not performed to cry. When we feel like we have to cry in a monologue, it's hard. It's hard to get there. But because you were in service of the communicating, it was getting emotionally very present. And that's just because it was about communicating, not about showing emotion. And I would say the emotions always come if they're going to, but if they don't, that's not the point of the communication. So that was beautiful. You used the specifics of the world really, really, really well and kept bringing them back, checking in. What it does to us as an audience is now instead of somebody giving a report, we're feeling intuitively about what are you going to do with this? Like you're just throwing this all over here, and now we have this potential for something to happen instead of just a monologue. Beautiful work. Thank you. William, did I take your thing? Oh, no, it's right here. We have how many left? How many? 1, 2. Okay, great. Oh, we're doing well. I just want to review a little bit. Anybody seeing any tools they can name in this process that you can take away with you? And the reason I stop and do it is because we know from educational studies that if you articulate it, you can make it your own. So it's just, and even if it's like everybody knows this, I don't have to say it. Go ahead and say it if you have it to say, just so that you can start over.
I have never heard the size of the speech is the size. I mean, that's just something that will stick with me. The size
Right.
of the speech.
Size of the speech is the size of your knee. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
who, when, where, why. I mean, I know that, but to hear it said again.
Great,
Who,
great.
when, where, why, yes.
Great. I also want to say about this, when you're in a show with somebody and they have a big speech, then you can become a great acting partner because you can give them enough energy to say that whole speech.
Yeah.
And it becomes really about how do I become a great partner here? And I'm thinking of you folks doing this show too. they're like, I've got this huge song I now have to sing. If you're you have a good acting partner, they're going to start shoveling coal into that furnace to get you there so you can sing that whole song.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
There was another hand I saw.
Specific people.
Specificity, great, great.
You know, like Chris, the part about the sighing,
cutting.
taking the energy down.
Yeah.
That little song would do for me. I don't think I've ever heard
Right.
anybody say that. And I wondered instantly what other crutches we have or things that we do.
Yeah.
Maybe with our feet, our hands, our body language, our posture that does the same thing.
The truth is there are plenty, but I hardly ever say them
Okay.
because I don't want people to start thinking no, but here's what I can tell you. And Barbara Redmond, wonderful acting teacher, she refers to the size as sighs of death. And I always say to my students, never sigh. Don't ever sigh. Of course, I know they're going to, but I also know it's going to be a choice now instead of a habit. Here's what I would look at for those things. Like I had an actress who did this all the time. She was a really good actress. The reason she was doing it is she didn't understand that she needed to release that energy on somebody else. And once we worked on, every time you feel like doing this, connect and send that energy to somebody else. And it just upped her game immediately because she got that, instinctively she knew, I need to release energy here. She just didn't know where it went. So almost all your habits are actually notes to yourself about doing something more clearly. It's just, it's coming out in a weird way. Dropping phrases is always a big one. When you feel that happening, that just means you're not landing the action on somebody else. And you can fix that usually with throwing balls back and forth, because you have to send enough energy on the ball to get it there. Yeah, there are plenty. What I would always say is in performance, don't think about your isms, don't try not to do anything.
As a director, do you point them out to your actors? You don't?
No, I would, like if this person, I never said don't do that. I said you have great instincts, you're doing a lot of extra energy, now let's find where to go with it. Because you know what it's like, don't think of a pink elephant. The minute you're told that, you're going to think of a pink elephant. All right, who's up next? Thank you.
Not anywhere off book. I haven't done this in a long time. This used to be one of my go-tos in college. This is from Love Valor. My name is Chris. This is from Love, Valor, Compassion. And it's just a rambling from Buzz, who is a gay man. A lot of his friends are dying off of AIDS, but he loves musicals. And this is just a moment that it kind of breaks for him. Yes, Perry, musicals all do have happy endings. That's why I like them. Even the sad ones. The orchestra plays, the characters die, the audience cries, the actors, or the curtain falls, the actors get up off the floor, the audience puts on their coats, and everyone goes home feeling better. That's a happy ending. Once, just once, I want to see a West Side Story where Tony really gets it. Where they all die, the Sharks and the Jets and Maria, while we're at it. Adolphus Krupke, what's he doing? Sneaking out of the back of the theater. Get back here and die with the rest of us, you son of a bitch. I want to see A King and I, where Yul Brynner doesn't get up from that little Siamese cot for a curtain call. I want to see The Sound of Music, where the entire Von Trapp family dies in an authentic alpine avalanche. A Kiss Me Kate, where she has a big fucking cold sore on her lip the whole time. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum, where the only thing that happens is nothing. And it's not funny. And they all die, just like everyone I know and care about is, Perry, including me. That's the musical I want to see. But they don't write them like that anymore.
Good work. Parents McNally. In the context of the show, I wouldn't change that.
Right.
For an audition, I'm going to give you some things to change.
Yeah.
Who is Perry, and what does this character need from him?
Perry is one of his very close friends. Also, I'm not sure. I can't remember if Perry actually. I think Perry is AIDS-free.
Yeah.
So you can tell that Buzz has a resentment about that. But they're just actually hanging out late in the night.
And it's like a group vacation.
Yeah,
and Perry's sort of thing is everything's okay, everything's good. Everything's good right now, we're really fine. Meanwhile, Rome is burning.
Right.
I think this character's coming out as HIV positive.
I'm not so. It's been so long that I'm not certain. But
let's
my
make
goodness.
it that for you.
Okay.
Since we can. So Perry is insistent that everything is okay, and you have been sitting on this information since you got there, and you need him to take care of it.
Okay.
You have a weird way of going, wow.
Right.
Knowing that we have the beginning, middle, and end, let's keep the beginning really light and easy.
Okay.
No, just funny throwaway.
Okay. All the way through the musical stuff, or all the way through the musical stuff?
When you feel like turning the corner, go ahead and turn the corner.
Okay.
See where it has to happen. What I would like the character to think is going to happen is you're going to make some jokes and then you're going to come out.
All right.
But the fear of telling the truth makes you escape into more and more and more jokes.
Okay.
Until the rage allows you to speak.
Okay.
So you have a much longer arc.
Right.
The problem is it's so darn funny. The writing is so funny. It's hard to not want to get the laughs on all the jokes.
Right.
Try this time, throw them away until it starts building. And it's what Christopher Durang wrote a play called Laughing Wild. It's until it's laughing wild.
Okay.
Until it's just
Too much.
Because the fear of saying it out loud is so huge.
Okay.
I may stop you, but it'll be hard.
All right. Yes, they are, Perry. Yes, they are. The musicals all have happy endings. That's why I like them. Even the sad ones. The orchestra plays, the characters die. The audience cries. The characters, or the curtain falls. The actors.
Let's start again. Go ahead and read it.
Okay.
And the reason I want you to read it is you can trust Terrence McNally with his punctuation. And so follow the punctuation, because some of those spots are bigger than others.
Okay. Yes, they do, Perry. Musicals all have a happy ending. That's why I like them. Even the sad ones. The orchestra plays. The characters die. The audience cries. The curtain falls. The actors get up off the floor. The audience puts on their coats, and everybody goes home feeling better. That's a happy ending, Perry. Once, just once. I want to see.
Okay, now we just turned the corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's brave to do that because you're not forcing the laughs in the beginning. But now we're in the middle, and as a director, I've seen very natural. I've seen you be specific, follow the punctuation, and now you're going to turn the corner, and your "who are you" changes because you're feeling now out of control. Okay. Give it a go.
Once, just once, I want to see a West Side Story where Tony really gets it. Where we all die.
Okay, hold on. Good. Now, so hard. Mm-hmm. You can't laugh at your own jokes.
Okay.
You have
It's gonna be real hard.
you have a great instinct, which is you know that that's where the laughter comes. Mm-hmm. So you, the good actor, is like, I do this line, and I know laughter comes there, and then, but you can't do it, or we won't.
Okay.
So be brave enough to leave the hole in the world for us to fill in.
Okay.
Good luck.
Once, just once, I want to see a West Side Story where Tony really gets it. Where they all die. The sharks.
That was great.
and the jets.
I'm going to have you do one more version of it. You got scared, and you literally backed away and looked at the floor when the laughter should have come.
Right.
Just look at the person who you landed it on.
Okay. Well, it's the wall, right next to my
Yeah,
shell.
but whoever that
Right.
thing is, let it have it. And then when you imagine they responded, do the next one. And imagine they responded, so that there's this an exchange happening that is as good as your instinct knows that it should be.
Okay. Once. Just once. I want to see. Well, I did.
That's
Once, just once, I want to see a West Side Story where Tony really gets it. Where they all die. The sharks and the jets. And Maria, while we're at it. And Officer Crooked, what's he doing? Sneaking out of the back of the theater. Get back here and die with the rest of us, you son of a bitch. I want to see The King and I, where Yul Brynner doesn't get up from that little Siamese cot for a curtain call. The Sound of Music, where the entire Von Trapp family dies in an authentic Alpine avalanche. A Kiss Me Kate where she has a big fucking cold sore on her lip. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum where the only thing that happens is nothing! And it's not funny! And they all die. And there's nothing. That's the musical I want to see here. But they don't write them like that anymore.
Great, now we're in part 3, keep going.
I ran out of script.
Part 3, then we change the who are you and we get to the truth. Beautiful work, thank you so much. Who's up? I know we're getting close on time, Michael.
Good, grabbing a chair.
We started 5 minutes late, so I'm going to go 5 minutes over.
30 minutes over, if you want.
Hi, my name is Sandy, and I decided at 4 o'clock this evening to do this, so I printed it off.
Good for you.
I'm doing a little bit of Edward Albee's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. I'm doing the Earth Mother thing,
Great.
and I've barely read over it, so here we go.
You know, you have an Albee Theater in town, which is the
Yes.
family that is in it.
You're off, flops. I am Earth Mother, and you're all flops. Oh God, it disgusts me. I pass my life in crummy, totally pointless infidelities. Would-be infidelities is more like it. A bunch of boozed up, impotent lunkheads. And Martha just kind of wags her eyes at them. And the lunkheads grin. And they roll their beautiful, beautiful eyes back into their head, and they grin some more. Oh, God. Martha licks her chops. And then they pick up a little courage, and they bounce back over to Martha. And then Martha does a little dance for them, with her eyes or with her lips, which really heats them up at that point, mentally. And so they slap back over to the bar again, and they pick up a little more courage, and their wives and their sweethearts stick their noses up in the air like they can't stand the disgust. Well, this sends the lunkheads right back to the Martha, where she sits there with her dress over her head, suffocating. Do you know how suffocating a dress over your head can be? Oh. Waiting for the hunks, the lead hunks, so that they finally get up the courage. But that's all, baby. That's all. Oh my, there are sometimes some very nice potential there. But oh my. My. But that's how it is in a civilized society. All the gorgeous hunkheads. Poor things.
Who is this?
This is Elizabeth Taylor in Virginia Woolf.
And what's the character's name?
It's Martha.
Yeah. So Martha's talking about herself in third person.
Yes, she is.
Poor Martha.
Yeah. Poor Martha.
So this is tricky. It's always tricky to play somebody who's this far gone.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the tricks, and I'd like you to try it, we won't do the whole thing, start at the top, is we're told that she's drunk. We're told how far gone she is. And the text, actual lines, reveal it. Can you start again and make your "who are you" totally sober, totally clear, and don't act the attitude of it, but just the goal of it. And so that begs the question, who's she talking to and what does she want?
Well, I know who she's talking to. She's talking to what she doesn't have in her life, which is someone that is more than just a body, someone that she has a true relationship to. But psychologically, she's not able to get there.
Sure. And who is the audience looking at her seeing?
She's seeing, I can't think of the guy's name, but it's one of the young men that
so
is there.
It's an older couple and a
Yeah.
younger couple.
Yeah.
And the younger guy is still on stage, right?
Yeah, it's...
Or everything. Don't tell anyone. But let's start that. Well, actually, would you just play to somebody over here, but just sit and make it absolutely just a conversation, no affectation.
You're all flops. I am the Earth Mother, and you're all flops.
Great. I'm going to have you start again. Let's just talk, like, I'm going to ask questions about you or Huntington or whatever. And then at some point I'm going to do this and just start doing these lines without changing your tone at all.
Okay.
This is such a trick. You picked a hard one.
I
so.
did pick a hard one. At 4 o'clock.
If it's feeling like, oh my gosh, that's why it's just really hard to. Okay. Have you lived in Huntington your whole life?
I don't live in Huntington.
Where do you live?
I live like 20 miles away in Tays Valley.
In West Virginia.
Yes.
And what do you do when you're not acting?
Travel.
Like where?
Anywhere the car takes me sometimes. Camp, hike.
What's the best place you've been to in the last year?
Probably Mexico.
Where in Mexico?
Oh, I don't remember the name of it. I drank too much.
And was it like tropical Mexico?
It was
or
tropical Mexico.
on the ocean?
Yes.
That's nice. Where, if you were planning a trip for next year, where would you go?
Iceland.
Why?
I've always felt like I need to see the Northern Lights in case I don't get there. You are all a bunch of flops.
Do it again. Let's come back to the conversation. Try to not move into any acting at all.
Okay.
Just this conversation.
All right.
Where did you go before? What was your best trip before COVID?
Probably California.
Very comfortable.
Well, I went to Yosemite and hiked 40 miles with some friends, and then drove up Highway 1 by myself and stopped at Big Sur. And
Start your lines to me.
You know, you're all really just a bunch of flops. I'm Earth Mother, and you're a bunch of flops. I don't know the line.
But that was great. That was great.
Oh,
So that's far more disturbing than acting drug,
right.
because my brain is going, am I supposed to take this seriously? What is this? Like, if you behave in a way that's like inebriated or a little nuts, then it's not as scary or tension building in the audience. If you look at your next line and just see if you can say that, and I'll be your acting partner.
Okay. I disgust me. My life I passed life in crummy, total, pointless infidelities. Well, would be infidelities.
Why are you telling me this?
That's a laugh. Just a bunch of boozed up, impotent lunkheads. Martha makes goo-goo eyes. The lunkheads grin and roll beautiful, beautiful eyes back. And then grin more.
I'm a little uncomfortable with this.
So Martha licks her chops and they roll their heads back into their head.
Great. Do you feel any difference
Yes,
here?
yes,
Could you understand it better?
yes.
Yeah, we get it because the communication's
Right,
happening.
right.
When you don't understand something in a play, it's because the actors aren't communicating it. It's not because you're dumb. So anytime you can simplify it down to real communication. Now, what this scene is a seduction scene.
Right.
And so we're trying to be as normal and conversational as possible with this kid is what's going on.
Right,
She's just a little like Blanche where she can't help herself.
right.
But as straight as you can. Now, can we get to the very end down here somewhere?
About the gorgeous lunkheads, poor
Yeah.
babies, okay.
Yeah, and it's about him. Can
Yes.
you make him your gorgeous lunkhead?
Yes.
And make this about him, even though you're talking in figures.
So finally they get their courage up. That's all, baby. Oh my, there's some very nice potential, but oh my. But that's how it is in civilized society. All the gorgeous hunk hills, poor babies, hunk heads, poor babies, poor babies.
Good. I have to say, especially with Albie, it doesn't feel good to do it.
No.
It feels kind of awful. And one of the things to make it feel better is we try to like layer a lot of stuff on it, but it's actually always more effective the more laid bare it is, which is just a good.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Totally missed. We have 2 left. Jump right at 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real shorten. Yep. We'll see if this,
If you need to go because we're over, I won't be insulted.
yeah, I don't have anything. If you don't need to go soon. Yeah, so I'm Mike, and this is Yorick from Hamlet. We'll see how it goes, given all of the stuff that you've given us. With all that, I'm not sure I would pick this one.
Fair enough.
Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him, Horatio. Fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. Now abhorred in my imagination, my gorge rises at him. Forgotten the line. Gorge rises at it. We'll go up.
I got you.
You got me?
Will.
There's one sentence right after that. I can't remember what it is. Gorge rises at it.
Here hung those lips.
Ah! Thank you. The gorge rises at it. Here hung those lips that I have kissed I know not how often. And your jibes now, your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that will want to set the table on a roar. Not one now to mock your own grinning, quite chapfallen. Now get you to my lady's chamber and tell her, let her paint an inch thick. To this fashion she must come. Make her laugh at that.
Great. Oh, this whole gravedigger, around the gravediggers in York, it's so hard. And I don't think I have a solution, but I'll give you some thoughts.
Yes. Yeah. Please go.
So Hamlet kills Polonius. He gets sent to England by way of evidently the Orient because he comes back a Buddhist. He's walking back, and he and his best friend Horatio stumble upon the grave digger.
Yeah.
Here's what's tricky. The scene's about you and Horatio, not about you and York.
Yes.
So why, and I don't have an answer, how is this interaction with the skull trying to get something from Horatio?
So, in the context, of course, Hamlet facing mortality eye to eye, realizing how fleeting life is. He goes on after this to talk about Caesar and somebody else, Alexander the Great, and how no matter what they did, they're dust now.
Yeah.
Now, so I see it more as a scene between Hamlet and the skull.
Skull's not going to do anything.
Agreed. So, and as far as a journey goes, there's not much room for it in especially such a small piece.
Yeah.
The mask.
Let's try a couple things.
Yeah.
So Horatio, who is Horatio? Horatio is a scholarship student back in Germany where they go to school. He probably does not know Hamlet that well. Hamlet has viewed him and said, there's one person I trust in this school, and it's this kid named Horatio. So he sends for him to come to the funeral. Horatio shows up, and he can't even get close to Hamlet because it's like royalty. And so Horatio's there, but Horatio's like, I don't know these people, what the hell's going on? Then he gets sucked into this whole ghost thing. He is as loyal and true to you as you thought he would be, and he's the last person standing.
Right.
And I think in this moment, you are trying to warn him about what's going to happen. That this is a life and death game, Horatio, and I want you to promise me, because remember, Horatio writes the story.
Right.
So we're seeing the whole show from Horatio's point of view, and Horatio at some moment locks in and gets it, and I think this is where it is.
Okay.
So can you try, can I have a Horatio? All you have to do is stand. Thank you. And can you try to get acknowledgement
On this thing.
that he gets that what you're saying, I mean, later you're going to say there's certain providence in the fall of the sparrow, let be, that he gets that
Yeah.
this is all about dying. Like this is gonna, you're going to be here for 10 more minutes, you need to tell this story.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think your tone is right on. I think it's all fun. I think you're trying to make him laugh. I think you're trying to make him a little freaked out that you're like smelling the corpse. But
Yeah.
it's all for him.
Yes. So so superficially, get you to my lady's chamber, tell her paint an inch thick. no matter how much makeup you put on, you're gonna die too. By way of journey, I tried to put a little bit of spin on that with Ophelia's seeming to be a double agent earlier.
I love all that.
Okay.
I love all that, but it's for him.
Okay.
There's a lot you have to, he needs to understand that you're not allowed to say.
Gotcha.
You're speaking in code.
Alas, Monologue, I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, most excellent fancy. Flung me on his back 1,000 times. And, oh, abhorred in my imagination it is. Gorge rises at it. Here, among those lips, I have kissed I know not how often. Where are your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that will want to set the table on a roar?
We'll do that one more time. I love everything you're doing. I love the specificity and all that. Can you let him make you laugh? You can take it less seriously.
Yeah.
He's Hamlet's the best stand-up comic in Shakespeare.
Yes.
Can you make the jibes now and all that all about making him giggle?
Sure. All right.
All the good sense memory stuff you're doing, awesome. It will not go away if you activate it.
Okay. From the top.
Where are your jibes
Where are your jibes now? Your gambols, your songs, your flashes of merriment that will want to set the table on a roar. Not one now to mock your own grinning. Quite chapfallen. I get you to my lady's chamber. Tell her to paint an inch thick. To this fashion she must come. Make her laugh at that. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Trust yourself that what you are understanding of like the deeper parts of this don't go away when you activate it. Sometimes it feels like I'm just playing for laughs. But if you've done the other homework, it's depth instead of just the surface. If you just came in to like joke around and fart around, it would just be the jokes.
Right.
But yeah. The other reason we really have to laugh here, especially with the tragedies, it's only as tragic as it is funny. And we're going to find out about Ophelia dying. He's going to find out about Ophelia dying in a second. So if you don't release us here, it's why the gravedigger scene's here.
Yeah.
The gravedigger makes us laugh, you make us laugh, we're all like, this is fun. And then while you're laughing like this, they just take the sword and put it in you.
Yeah, right.
Or death. So good work. Thank you for that.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'm glad so many of you are doing scenes. Thank you for bringing stuff.
Hi, I'm Olivia Chambers. I'm gonna do a monologue from I Ought to Be in Pictures. Woo. He's clapping, and yeah. So the scene explains itself. I'll just. Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Herbert Tucker. The one who hasn't made it in show business is you, not me. I'm on the way up on the local, and you're on the way down express. It's possible, just possible, that one day I may be standing up there getting my Emmy Award, or my Grammy, or my Oscar, or whatever the hell they get out here. And I'm gonna smile, and I'm gonna say to the entire world, I want to thank everyone who helped me with this award. My grandmother, my mother, my brother Robbie, my friends, my fans, and everyone except my shit-heeled father. Yeah, I think that about covers it. I apologize for my language, Steffi. It was very nice meeting you. I'm sorry I can't say that about everyone in this house.
Good. You have a really great sense of this who are you, who this kid is. Have you played this role before? Well, you certainly should.
We're hoping.
Taking notes, artistic director. So good, like you know who she is, you've got her shtick down, love all of that. Those of you who've studied Stanislavski, like if you look at the arc of what he was doing, he starts with behavior and he ends with action. As he got older, he got more specific and started saying what we're saying today, a lot of the how you're trying to make that person feel, who are you talking to. But that doesn't negate this stuff. This stuff is the foundation for that stuff. And you have a really good sense of this end of it. So, who are you talking to?
My father.
Yeah. What's your first line?
Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Herbert Tucker.
Okay. Now, if we were working together and I was going to give you homework and you were coming back next week to work with me, I would say, write his line of dialogue. What does he say back? And I would ask you to turn this whole thing into dialogue, and then I'd ask you to run it as dialogue with someone you know. Because what's happening is you're getting a little bulldozery.
It's getting one night. It's
Yeah.
just kind of...
So what would he say to you after the Mr. Herbert Tucker?
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
He hasn't...
Okay.
This is the first time she's showing up at his doorstep.
Yeah, and then you say, what's your next line?
The one who hasn't made it in show business is you, not me. But he's never said you're not ought to be in pictures.
Yeah, so let's have him say, who are you?
Okay.
So, and you take that as, well, you're not famous, nobody knows who you are. Okay, so let's start again. I will say hello, and then I will say, who are you? You ready? Mm-hmm. Coming through that door. Hello?
Well, let me tell you something, Mr. Herbert Tucker.
Who are you?
The one who hasn't made it in show business is you, not me.
I never said you didn't make it in show business, little girl.
I'm on the way up on the local and you're on the way down express.
I think you better go wherever you came from.
It's possible. Just
Okay,
possible.
let me give you, your instincts are so good and I want you to trust them. That little walk away thing you just did, do it. Because it looks like this. I think it's possible.
Oh.
Because you're not done, but he landed an action on you to make you leave.
Yeah.
Do you see? So when you do like silly stuff like that, instead of just feeling like I'm being nervous and silly, think I'm being a genius, and I have to honor that. Okay, keep going.
From
Wherever you want.
it's possible. Just possible that one day I'll be up there getting my Emmy Award or my Grammy or Oscar, whatever the hell you get out here. And I'm gonna smile and I'm gonna say to the entire world, I wanna thank...
Okay, hold on. You're doing great. But now you're making me realize who you are, right? So instead of thanking them, this is very similar to the revelation of the HIV positive for him, because you're using all these jokes, but what you're essentially saying is, you're my dad. So can you do, I'll be your dad. Can you do the whole bit of, I'm going to win this award? And instead of thinking it's joke to joke to joke, thinking it's the revelation of who I am. That make any sense to you?
Of you?
Me, your father.
I'm realizing you're my father?
You're telling me I'm your father.
Okay.
Okay. So this is all for me, even though you're doing it in jokes.
Grammy or my Oscar or whatever you get out here, and I'm gonna smile and I'm gonna say thank you to everyone who helped me get this award. My grandmother, my mother, my brother Ronnie, and my friends, and everyone, but my shit-heel father.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly, good, you got it. Good work, thank you. Is there one more?
I have one, but I don't have to.
We're 5 to 8, maybe we should shift gears. Let's take 5.
Do it. We'll be done.
Good, we'll be done.
Okay.
This is Phoebe from As You Like It. Yes, this is actually her first entrance, not until Act 3. She's being pursued through the woods by Sylvius, but I'm hoping to make it a little bit about something different than that. So, I would not be thy executioner, I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou sayest there is murder in mine eyes? 'Tis pretty, sure, and very probable that eyes, that are the softest and frailest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Oh, now I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill thee. Now counterfeit to swoon. Why no? Fall down. Or if thou canst not, oh, for shame. For shame. Lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now show me the wound mine eye hath made in thee. Scratch thee but with a pin, and there remains some scar of it. Lean upon a rush, and the cicatrice and capable in pressure thy palm some moment keeps. But now mine eye, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not, nor I am sure there is not force in eyes that can do hurt.
I love her.
Me too.
It's like she's read too many romance novels. she thinks she's the heroine.
Correct.
So you said you were going to try to do something else. You've got a
Yeah.
great sense of the language, you've got a great sense of the line, you know what the story is, you know who you're talking to. So what were you trying to do?
So in the course of the play, it's not just Phoebe and Sylvius on stage, but she believes it is. She believes they're alone. But I thought about what you said about choosing specifics and making it different. So I was thinking of one of my daughter's best friends, who's a 16-year-old girl who really thinks very highly of herself. And I was thinking of her in a schoolyard situation where she's being pursued by a boy that she feels is embarrassing to her. And so she's trying to make a fool of him.
And schoolyard is
audience.
making it public?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so there's always a difference between public scenes and private scenes, or private scenes and public situations. So some of this is for show then?
Yes.
Oh, poor Sylvius.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. But I think then Sylvius has to kind of dig the abuse.
Yeah, if she's gonna keep at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the power that you're exerting is being rewarded
Okay.
by his appreciating any attention, really.
The attention, right.
And so is this, so you're demonstrating to Rosalind, it is Rosalind, it's on stage, right?
Yes.
And is Cecilia here?
Yes.
Okay, so Rosalind, you're demonstrating to them that you're the queen of the forest.
Yes.
So that makes sense. We've got to keep it really about the two of you primarily, but let's go back and see what lands on Rosalind.
Oh, like to direct to, okay.
Yeah.
And she's in disguise as Ganymede at this point.
Yeah.
So that's the
Hot
difference.
boy in the city.
Right.
Yeah. Let's do one more thing.
Okay.
If you were to make a statue of Phoebe,
A statue of Phoebe?
yeah,
Okay.
what would it look like?
Oh, Grecian.
Let's like in the beginning of the scene, like beat one.
Oh, I don't know what you mean, I'm sorry.
Like there's the beginning, middle, and end.
Yeah.
So when you come in,
Yeah.
what is her body doing?
Oh, I see. Okay.
And then just freeze it.
Oh, okay.
Can you make an entrance and see what it is? Like
Okay.
we're talking Laban terms. Is it glide? Is it dab?
Okay.
Like what?
I think it's strut.
Okay.
Yeah? Okay.
And freezer. Yeah. So that's your first who are you. Okay. Your second who are you then, you have spotted Ganymede.
Okay.
You've got Sylvius down here probably on his knees.
Right. Yeah.
How does she change? And make it kind of a big change.
A big change.
Because I want to see an arc.
Okay.
Just you can move it around and see what happens.
Okay.
Or say some lines and stuff.
Yeah,
Just feel it out.
I would not be the executioner, I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. 'Tis pretty, sure, and very probable that
Can you
I...
use more of this space for me too, with your arm?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Go
Okay.
ahead
Yeah.
and make her big.
Okay.
I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. 'Tis pretty, sure, and very probable
Freeze.
that eyes...
Yeah, great. Freeze right there. That's great. Okay. And now get to beat 3. Where is she by the end?
Oh, by the end, I feel like she's like standing over him.
Do it.
Like by the end, like
Yeah.
a real bitch. I mean,
So what's the last line about eyes? The eyes.
nor I am sure there is not.
Let's see.
Yeah, she's like that little girl with arms akimbo, but she's like,
Yeah, like really cartoony kind of.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Scratch thee but with a pen, signature so capable of pressure thy palm some moment keeps, but now mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not.
Great. Do statue 1 over here.
Okay.
Statue 1. Statue 2. And statue 3. Okay, now I'm going to have you run it. And your goal is to just find those statues and keep going.
Okay.
But let your physicality get you to those points.
Ooh, okay.
And see how that informs it.
All right, I'll
So
try it.
technically what I'm doing here, she's got it all in her head. Like she understands this, so I don't need to talk about line to line or who are you talking to or anything like that. But what I would like to do is get the genius of her body involved now. And one of the things with Shakespeare is it's such an intellectual act.
Yeah.
Because we read it, it is like then great when somebody has it down like you do to find the physical world. So you've got, what did you say you're coming in on, strut?
Strut.
And then what's your middle girl?
I don't know what we call her. I mean,
Laban was.
just take it all in.
Yeah, whatever that is. It's a little
It's a little lilty.
little float maybe?
Yeah.
It's a little float. And then
Yeah.
who's this girl? Is she press? Is she?
Yeah.
Let's do press.
Yeah, press is good.
Okay, all right, okay, you got
Yeah.
3 movements. And just see what you feel. You don't have to be good, you just have to do it.
I would not be thy executioner, I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou sayest there is murder in mine eyes. 'Tis pretty, sure, and very probable that eyes that are the softest and frailest things that shut their coward gates on atomies should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now, I do frown on thee with all mine heart, and if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill thee. Counterfeit to swoon.
Press. Go to press.
Counterfeit to swoon. I know. Fall down.
Okay, pull up. Press needs more of that.
Okay.
Sort of grinding down
Okay.
on it.
There's a lot more to go, so I wasn't sure if I should be pressing the
let's
whole
just
time.
press this.
Okay, yeah.
And then if we were doing more, we would create another, we'd make this work.
Great.
But
Okay.
let's press on
Yeah,
here.
okay.
I understand what you were doing.
Okay. I don't remember where this. Oh, yeah. Ooh, now I do frown on thee with all my heart. And if mine eyes can wound, now let them kill thee.
Press.
Counterfeit to swoon. Why now? Fall down.
Keep pressing.
Or if thou canst not, for shame. For shame.
Great. So even bringing
I'm a very nice person.
even bringing that into an audition, she might not do that extreme, but that exercise will never go away now. It will always inform what you do. So even if you did the monologue standing still in front of an auditor's table,
that helps a lot.
the movement of that and now how your body's connected to it will inform.
Definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. I know we're at time, so thank you, and I'm sorry if we skipped anybody. I think we only skipped you.
You see me.
Should we take 5 and then come back for talking?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's 8:06, we'll come back at 8:11.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you, everybody, for participating in this.